Israel and talking to you about stuff, as I often do. In this case, predictive AI automation, making massive market moves. Predictive AI automation is a way to use effectively leading information across different verticals, be they e-commerce, retail, wholesale, B2B, B2C, B2B2C, whatever it might be, to use the power of actual artificial intelligence, or at the very least, LLMs, to enhance the knowledge that a company has about its potential customers or its potential acquisitions or sales or whatever it might be that they trade in order to optimize revenues, minimize costs, etc. Now, we've been using in the marketing world psychographic mapping and predictive analytics to predict behavior and build funnels that basically are customized step by step based on the user's journey. We've been doing that for well over a decade, even longer. But even at the mid-sized firms and large firms, we've been doing that for more than a decade. The whole goal of that originally, yes, was to, of course, increase revenues for the company, etc., whatever company it was. But it has turned into something much more than that. Because, yes, the companies know a lot about you. They definitely have the ability to predict a lot of what you're going to do or what you're likely to do. But the more you're in an echo chamber and the more the things that are shown to you are increasingly niche down that rabbit hole you like to dig down into, the more you will naturally yearn for something else. And so you'll start looking elsewhere and seeing different rabbit holes appear for you to jump into. And you think you're getting away from that by doing that, by outsmarting the algorithm, by using your brain to do something that you don't think you were programmed to do. But guess what? There's a pretty high probability you were programmed to do that one too. You see, companies have long realized that we can't just exploit everything from you and then expect you to become or stay as a long-term customer. Companies know if they take everything you have and leave you with nothing, it's going to leave a bad taste in your mouth and you won't want any more. And you'll never come back and you'll spread bad words about the company, and that's bad for business. And the last thing companies want is to harm their business. So what they do is they create incentives to stay on their systems for a certain amount of time. They also have triggers to incentivize people away from the site after a certain period of time, as if to give you the feeling that you've exhausted all the options for that particular session. But you should come back soon because there's sure to be something more that you want, but go take a break now. And you see this in many different aspects of tech, not just in e-commerce sites, gaming sites, whatever, but also in the actual operating systems of computers and televisions, tablets, and other devices. Right? If you have kids, you know that they have those alarms that the device shows to the kid, says, hey, it's bedtime, turn off the device. Or even for grown-ups, it says, hey, you've been working for 16 hours today, maybe take a break or something like that, or the screens get a bit darker, not to burn your eyes out, but also just kind of as a reminder, like, hey, you're working and it's probably nighttime. Maybe go take a break, whatever it might be. There's a lot of ways that technology encourages people to get away from the technology, at least temporarily, because you don't want to just be stuck to your machine 24/7. That's clearly not healthy. So, like, you are encouraged to actually go touch grass, even by the tech companies. I know it doesn't seem that way, but they do want people to continue to be good consumers. If you have no way to be a consumer, then you're not of any value to them, then you're not a good customer to them, and then they're not interested in helping you. They're not interested in providing you with anything interesting because you can't be a customer of theirs. But they'd rather that you were a customer. So that means encouraging you to limit your use of their platforms. And I know it sounds crazy, like there's no way that sites do this. I can tell you. Look at the number of websites that actually encourage you to go somewhere else with links to other things that aren't related to the same experience, that are kind of softer landings on the way out the door to maybe just go, chill, do something else, excursions, recreations, offline activities, whatever they might be, articles about how to relax, anything. And yes, you'll find these on websites about productivity, or e-commerce platforms about anything, buying specific freelance services or anything, right? Professional services. Because you got to remember, these tech companies are actually run by humans, people who walk around outdoors just like you do, just like I do. I know we like to think these corporations are nameless and faceless, but they're not. There are actually people running them. And most of them are actually filled with good people. Yes, they want to be successful in business, of course, but they also want to be good people for the most part. Yeah, of course, there's bad apples here and there. Obviously, the world isn't perfect. But there are a lot of people in tech who actually want to build healthy, thriving businesses that are good for the community of users as well as for the business. They don't just want to be, yes, they might be driven by some healthy amount or unhealthy amount of greed, but they realize that being a good steward of the community is good for business. At the very least, they recognize that. And some of them just genuinely are good people. Maybe that's how they got their job, maybe it's not, whatever. Maybe that's how they started the company. So, it's not unusual to see tech companies doing the humane thing, encouraging people to go live life outside of the typical funnels that they're throwing at you when you're online. And funnels, by the way, come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. They're not all driven at making a sale, in case you didn't know that. Many of them are just driven at making you have more of a user experience with the brand, even completely for free. So, anyway, guys, that's going to do it for now. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.